Welcome to Structures, the program that explores Toronto's renowned history and architecture. I'm Heather Seaman. The Toronto Dominion Centre is one of the greatest works of modern architecture in Canada. Still debated 40 years after it was built, the TD Centre, with its simple, clean lines and timeless materials, forever changed the look of downtown Toronto.
It was a pretty strange duck when it was first built because it stood by itself amongst all this other vernacular architecture which people had been used to.
I think the design is classic. I think it's timeless. I'm obviously a little biased, but in my view, it is the most striking piece of architecture in the office architecture in the city.
When the first tower of TD Centre opened in 1967, it was one of the tallest buildings in the world. At 56 stories, it dominated the skyline of Toronto. TD Centre was entirely new to the Toronto landscape. People had never seen towers this high, nor had they seen steel and glass used on this scale. For some, TD Centre disrupted the skyline. To others, it was a genius, groundbreaking design.
This was in the very beginning of a lot of new development that then dramatically changed the city. And for a time, very short time, this building stood alone, and then very quickly it was surrounded by many others.
Originally, TD Centre included 2 towers and a bank branch anchored at King and Bay, but today there are 6 towers, 3 additional ones that emulate the original design, and another tower that was later incorporated into the TD Centre complex. Together with the original banking branch, TD Centre is located on a large plot of land from King to Wellington and Bay to York. Located here is the global headquarters for TD Bank Financial Group, as well as numerous office and retail spaces. It was designed by a collaboration of architects, including design consultant Mies Rohe, one of the most revered modern architects of his time.
It's certainly his largest work, and it's the one opportunity he had to really plan out the full scale of a complex. All the open space that surrounds them, all the views, and in my view, it's clearly his finest work.
TD Centre was born out of the merger of 2 established banks. Founded in 1869, the Dominion Bank was located in several attractive head offices throughout its history. Among the most notable was a Beaux-Arts gem built on the southwest corner of King and Yonge in 1914. Today, this structure is known as One King West Hotel and Residence.
And when the Dominion Bank is built, it's considered to have one of the most lavish banking halls. That's very important. It's got the largest and most secure vault. It's a gorgeous building that you can still get into today and appreciate.
The Bank of Toronto also had a long legacy dating back to the 1850s. When the financial core moved west across Yonge Street, a new headquarters was erected at King and Bay, establishing this corner as the epicenter of Toronto's financial world. Opening in 1913, the new Bank of Toronto was considered a masterpiece, designed by an architectural team including Eustace Bird and Carrere and Hastings, architects of New York's Public Library.
It was marked by Corinthian columns with 3 central porticos as a main entrance into the building. And offices were around the edges of the building, and on the inside, behind those porticos, was again, the largest and finest banking hall in its day.
Located a block apart, the Bank of Toronto and Dominion Bank were rivals for many years before amalgamating in 1955 to become the Toronto Dominion Bank. At the time, TD was the smallest of Canada's 5 largest banks, and it was their goal to build a new headquarters that would establish a powerful new image. Alan Lambert, chairman of the board and president of TD Bank, engineered a massive new development plan. Lambert sought inspiration from the rapid development of skyscrapers. He went to New York to visit David Rockefeller, who oversaw the construction of the Chase Manhattan Bank at 60 stories. Canada's tallest skyscraper at the time was Montreal's Place Ville-Marie, a 47-story building that was headquarters for the Royal Bank. Eventually, it was decided that TD Centre would erect the tallest building not only in Toronto, but in Canada. To execute this project on such a large scale, Lambert persuaded the bank to partner with Fairview Corporation, then one of the largest developers in North America. At the time, it was a part of Kemp Investments, the holding company for the Bronfman family.
A lot of people didn't think that this was viable. I mean, it was 1,000,002 square feet in one single tower. So it was a very bold move.
Two Toronto firms, Bregman and Hammond Architects and John B. Park and Associates, were chosen to jointly work on the project.
But neither firm had done anything of this scope or magnitude before, and so the clients felt that really we need some, really well-known international firm. So the two names that came up were SOM, Gordon Bunshaft of SOM, and then Mies van der Rohe. And Mies van der Rohe had just finished the Seagram Center in New York.
When Bunshaft refused to alter his design, Phyllis Lambert, daughter of Kemp Investments founder Samuel Bronfman, pushed for world-renowned architect Mies van der Rohe.
I get quite annoyed when I hear people talk about Mies van der Rohe and they point to the Seagram Building in New York as his work, and to me this is far and away his most significant work.
Born in Germany in 1886, Ludwig Mies van der Rohe was among the pioneers of modern architecture. He served as director of the Bauhaus, a German school of design. Relocating to the United States in the late 1930s, Mies was known for his less is more philosophy of design. The building of TD Centre required a land assembly of 5.5 acres. Nearly one block was demolished to make way for the project.
The city that was underneath the current TD Centre was a city really of 19th and early 20th century buildings that looked red brick and stone, 5 or 6 stories, kind of Edwardian, classical.
While there was support for the project, it was also met with great opposition at a time when the preservation of heritage in Toronto was becoming increasingly important. Numerous buildings were demolished, including the Bank of Toronto. TD Centre was not only one of Mies's largest designs, it was his last major project. He passed away in 1969 before the second tower opened and never got to see his masterful work completed. Next, we'll explore the brilliant design of Toronto Dominion Centre.